What's up and welcome back to the Kind of Funny Gamescast live for Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Happy Jay-Z's birthday to you all, everybody. Of course, I am Tim Geddes. No, definitely not. And I'm joined by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Hova.
The Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Uh-huh.
And the Big Daddy himself, Greg Miller.
I married Beyonce.
We all nailed it, everybody. Bless, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Do we still mess with Jay-Z? Do we not cancel him after all the Illuminati stuff?
I mean, was any of that proven? Was any of that even like kind of? I feel like we skirted that line in a way where there was a week of like, yo, he's going down.
Once On to the Next one came out, I was like, oh, they might be right. They might be right. On to the Next one. There's some hidden messaging in there. I don't know.
No, we fuck with
Blueprint
Jay-Z
3
in this house. But remember, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast, everybody. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube.
Why do you love Jay-Z so much but not Curtis Blow? Just saying.
I mean, I think he gets a lot of love.
Not enough.
Yeah. Watch us record them live or get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube super chats as we go. Little housekeeping for you. Some exciting stuff, y'all. We're reviewing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time as a YouTube premiere. That's right. It will not be on Twitch. It's on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames at 4 p.m. Pacific on Thursday, and then podcast services right after that. This is due to embargoes, due to us trying our best to get things out there in as clean a way as possible. So we appreciate your patience there, but it's going to be a good one. Can we say who's reviewing that?
I've been saying I've been playing it, yeah. I'm reviewing it.
It's Greg Miller.
And Paris Lily's along too. I'm not sure how much Paris has played. We'll find out.
Exciting times. Can't wait to hear what you think. Remember, we are an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Today, after this, you are going to get, of course, it's a Wednesday. You're getting some Warzone, baby. It's going to be Mike and Nick dropping into the Warzone Wednesdays. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you get today's Greg Way, which is...
my review of Super Slash Man, the Christopher Reeve documentary.
Oh.
Watched it last night.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Did you cry more than once?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Thank you.
And then Jen asked me a question about his wife, and I turned to her, eyes welled with tears. She's like, okay, I got the answer.
What streaming service is on?
It's going to be on Max at the end of the week. I bought it on Amazon last night. Couldn't wait any longer.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today we're brought to you by our Frames and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's start with the topic of the show. It is December 4th, 2024. Not only is it Jay-Z's birthday, it also marks the 1-year anniversary of the GTA 6 trailer officially coming out. It also marks the 1-year anniversary of the GTA 6 trailer unofficially coming out. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we were all in the studio. One of the most memorable Kind of Funny Games moments that I've ever experienced. All of us here, we knew the GTA 6 trailer was imminent. We had a plan. They had a date that they said. I think it was going to be the next day, December 5th.
Super early.
So we were like prepped. Yeah, I think it was like a 6 a.m. or something like that because they're New York time, right? So it would have been 9 for them. That would have made sense. So we were like prepped for that. We knew all hands on deck. When this thing drops, we're going to be here. We're going to be live reacting. And then it leaked. It leaked on Twitter with really shitty compression and
a Bitcoin logo,
a Bitcoin watermark on it. And it was like, uh-oh, what do we do? But there was a fervor and excitement at this office that I don't think we've ever had before or since. Am I right in saying that?
I wasn't here, so
I was. I also wasn't here. I would say yes. Yeah, I kept on comparing it to an episode of Succession. Which is the second time we've mentioned Succession today, but it was if there were
yelling around,
if there was a camera crew around here, there would have been it would have been Tim walking to the office being like, hold on, what happened? And us being like, it dropped. Wait, like the official one
legally, they're taking it down.
They're bringing it out right now, and it was pandemonium, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I remember wrestling with how do we want to handle it, what do we want to do, and while we were doing that was when Rockstar was like, fuck it, we'll just put it out early.
Do it live. And so we did it live. We live reacted. We had a super fun set made. Andy and Roger collabed on all that.
I think it was because, well, you know what? I think we had some sort of sponsorship thing happening or a timing thing, and maybe we were waiting for the next day. And I'll never forget us being like, well, not only did it leak and Tim going, fuck. And then when it actually officially announced, that they're just going to do it and drop it, Tim going, oh, fuck. and it was just like so dramatic.
Yeah. No, dude, I remember I got on the phone with our homie who was sponsoring a bunch of events around the time, including Game Awards, because as Game Awards is coming up next week this year, but last year it was the same week as GTA 6 dropping. So we were working on big sponsor projects, and we know the Game Awards are going to bring in a ton of eyes that I feel like it brings in all of our fans. You know what I mean? Well, not just the awesome people that hang out with us every single day, but the people that look to kind of funny more as an
drivers,
event.
the FedEx drivers,
Exactly.
the grocery store baggers, everybody, the drivers of the drivers,
Babysitter drivers,
drivers, taxi drivers.
But on top of that,
computer drivers.
It's so rare we get something like a GTA 6 trailer to drop where it's like, oh man, there's about to be a ton of eyes on this. And I remember calling him just being like, the trailer dropped now. You're going to want to be a part of this piece of content for us. And he was like, Tim, let's go. And then we rode and we made it all happen. And that was us live reacting last year. And then we did a hour-long discussion about what we thought about it, how hype it was, and our predictions and everything. And I kind of just wanted to do that all over again. It's been a year. I doubt many of us have watched the trailer too many times since.
Really, just that day.
Oh, yeah?
I would say.
I've watched it a couple times.
I then went home to watch it on a bigger screen, and that was it. I haven't probably watched it in about 364 days.
And I will also say that because a year ago this trailer dropped, and since then nothing has come from GTA, I do imagine that a lot of our points that we bring up today might be very similar to things that we said last time. But as we are a year ahead of that, where we might see this game next, all of that, I do want to have that conversation. I also want to talk about where we see Rockstar going in a post-GTA 6 world. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but we're going to kick it all off, unless, Bless, you have something to say, because you look like you're...
No, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. We're going to start off with us live reacting 1 year later to the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer.
Did we get claimed for this?
Do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
What a shot already.
In general.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me.
I still don't think we've seen a game like this. Like in the last year.
It's just so quintessentially GTA.
Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold our love.
It's gonna be all 30 frames per second.
Except the PlayStation Pro, right?
Or you might get 51.
Wow.
Well, look who's back.
The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
I mean, it's sick as
So
shit.
fucking hot.
Come on. Vice City, we back, baby. 2025, not today. Bless, I want to start with you about your thoughts on this because you weren't here for the first time we reacted.
You've never talked
apparently.
about GTA 6.
Yeah, I never talked about GTA 6. I feel like I came back that week because I think I was in LA for some preview event, maybe Tekken or something.
Some fighting shit.
Yeah, some fighting shit. And I must have came back and talked about it on a KHD. I vaguely remember going back and forth with Tim because I remember watching this and being like, yeah, it's not gonna look like this though, right? And I think we had a back and forth about it. And as a year has passed since, I think I still hold on to a bit of I will believe it when I see it fully, as far as how much of this kind of activity we're getting in the real game, right? But no matter what, I'm excited for a GTA. I'm such a big GTA person, right? And usually, for me, that is San Andreas, that is GTA 5. I prefer the West Coast and that vibe. But I love how much they're that in this trailer they catch on to the Florida vibe. After this trailer came out, I remember watching TikToks, watching Twitter breakdowns of, oh, every scene here is a meme from like some Florida thing that's happened. And seeing people make those connections, seeing people deep dive into it that way.
Yeah,
it's
Joker
really cool.
sued him, right? Didn't the Joker, Florida man, sue them?
Yeah.
He was trying to,
So
They stole my likeness.
I love how much they reached into that Duffy, and like I think it speaks to a lot of what I think makes GTA special, which is detail. Being able to go, hey, we know we're going to Vice City, we know we're representing Miami and representing Florida. How do we make this the most Miami game possible? And seeing throughout the trailer just how much is going on in terms of graphical detail, in terms of how many people we see, how much stuff is going on, how much I think Florida energy is captured here, even just the coloring of these scenes that we're seeing in front of us.
Bad boys, baby.
Come on, like so much of it is so good, and so yeah, like watching it today feels almost just as special as watching it last year for me.
Andy Cortez.
They're just on a different level still. Like, I mean, I'm still with Blessing where I want to see this running in real time. I want to see, I know this is real time footage, but I want to see this on a console. I want to see how it actually looks. And I am excited to see all of the different, similar to when Watch Dogs first had its premiere and then they did all the comparisons later on of like, look how none of this looks the same and everything, the road isn't as wet anymore or whatever.
But puddles.
Spider-Man's
puddles.
Exactly,
those up.
We're watching James Stevenson, we know.
The thing I kept bringing up that day was what is going to be the horse testicles comparison to GTA 6? What is going in Red Dead Redemption when the weather gets a certain way, horse balls get smaller, right? And like, what's going to be that sort of level of detail we see in GTA 6? You bringing up the level of detail, Blessing, where are we going to see people aging in real time? Will people be getting haircuts, or will NPCs be always looking the same, or will they change over a little bit? Will we see degradation in environments? How much levolution would there be? Because it would seem kind of odd for a game that always strives to be so insanely realistic to shoot a rocket launcher at something and have it not break. What are those little details going to be that they're going to strive for? And how much more time will that add to their development cycle?
Greg?
It's funny to watch the game because it's not a game I think of often. And I don't mean that in the way of like, I'm not excited for it. I'm incredibly excited for it, but I need date, gameplay, whatever. We all have our hopes and dreams of what this game will be because, of course, it's Rockstar and, of course, it's Grand Theft Auto. Those are too high watermarks for what you're about to get, and you assume immediately, put either of those alone, let alone together out there, you're thinking, oh, well, this is a Game of the Year contender. If this comes in 2025, right, we'll be talking about this. And even if it comes in 2026, we'll be talking about this. So it's this idea of that's such a known quantity of awesomeness that it's cool. I don't like think about it and long for it. It'll be more interesting, I feel, of when they show gameplay if it is enough to wow us. Not wow us in terms of that looks beautiful, I want to play that, but like, oh, I didn't expect that. Wow, that's a really cool system. Oh, they've dumped this thing that I didn't like from GTA 5 or pick this up, or they're trying to, take this element from San Andreas and modernize it. Those are the things that I'm excited, the nuts and bolts of it. Because you look at that, and like y'all said, that it just is GTA. It's GTA coded, right? You look at that, you're like, oh man, this is so Grand Theft Auto, and it's crazy that we haven't had that in so long. And that's no shade to GTA Online, which has been very much GTA, but it's been GTA Online, which isn't the GTAs I grew up with, that I was playing, that I saw, and then of course got 3 of on the PlayStation 2, and then here we are, just languishing, waiting for this one to come. I'm fascinated to see if they can live up to the hype. Again, this has been gestating for so long. I, of course, have Paul Tassi's Forbes article from this year open, right? But it's recapping when, in 2018, Dan Houser told GQ he was thankful GTA 6 wouldn't be out during a Trump presidency, right? And like, this has been gestating so long that now we've gotten into another Trump presidency. And so it's like, what does that mean for the narrative they're spinning for the whole thing here was that where we were as a society was beyond satire, right? Now, granted, Dan has left and he's doing absurd ventures and blah, 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 blah. But like, what is this GTA? What is it without Dan Houser? Even though he clearly would have worked on this and done a bunch of stuff with it. Like, there's so many questions for what we're about to get here and how it's going to play and what it's going to be doing, and if it will still have that resonance, it will still have that ability to speak to people.
Can it still live up to the hype? Like, that's one of the things you just mentioned, right? And I don't know if it can live up to the hype. I think the hype for this game is astronomical, and you're coming off of GTA 5, which came out in 2013, and so that's so far 11 years, about to be almost 12 years of anticipation for a sequel. You're talking about, I think, where we're at in 2013 versus where we're at in 2024 as far as what games are, and even take that back to God, how much time passed between GTA 3 and GTA 5? Was that 12 years?
GTA,
Right? Wouldn't it have been 10 years?
2003 to 2003?
Oh, no, I guess 2001. So, yeah.
12 years. I mean, we're about to hit that same amount of time between GTA 5 and GTA 6. So when you think about the evolution of video games, the evolution of open world games, what our expectations are of open world games, the big fear I have currently, and this goes back to when Fallout 4 came out, and I remember listening to podcasts, listening to Kind of Funny, I think, about how that game almost felt like it was created in a silo of, hey, we're making another Bethesda game. And that same year, we got The Witcher 3, and The Witcher 3 came through and ate everybody's lunch because it felt like a new and fresh RPG, and Fallout 4 felt like more of that. My biggest fear right now with GTA 6 is that it comes out and it is more GTA 5, and people are like, oh, we've been there, we've done that.
My big flip for you would be: do you think you think Red Dead Redemption 2 lived up to the hype? Because I think that's the situation we're in, where this is going to be an iteration on Grand Theft Auto 5. And so when you get here, what I'm expecting from this is the same thing I expected from Red Dead Redemption 2, which was a game that didn't work for me, but I respect. But I expect this to be a very personal piece of art. This is clearly what Rockstar's vision for this game was. And whether I'll connect with that, whether I'll enjoy that in GTA 6 is a different conversation. But it is that idea of, like, to your point, Grand Theft Auto gunplay has never been great, right? Combat has never been great in Grand Theft Auto. It is the open world, the systems, the mechanics, the character, the story, the performances. And so to get here in 2025, knock on wood, and get gameplay that is just an evolution of that and is still not that great, then you're into the thing of, are we talking about Rockstar the way we talk about Bethesda after Starfield and after Fallout 4, right? Of like, Bethesda makes Bethesda games. We can't, like, Fallout 3, of course, amazing. Skyrim, amazing for the time and what they were doing. But since then they are iterating on those games. They are kind of doing a Nintendo thing of, we're making our games and going this direction. We don't really care what's going on around us in the rest of the space. We're going to make games like Bethesda games, which, of course, when you jump in, you're like, this game feels dated. This game feels old. This is a stupid way to do a mission structure, blah, blah. And it's Bethesda making Bethesda games. And so you can't put the expectation on them that we joked around about in the lead up to Starfield. Like, it's got to be a game of the generation, right? That's not what they're doing. Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar, right? Like, I feel like Rockstar is making Rockstar games. And so far, those have been genre defining, game of the year defining, console generations defining. And so you get to GTA 6 and it really is this question of, are we expecting them to come out and be like, we have completely fixed combat, shooting out the window of the car is finally enjoyable, that kind of stuff? Or does that not matter because it is all the bells and whistles and the social media and posting in-universe TikToks or whatever the hell it's going to be?
I don't know if a game takes this long to be developed if it isn't going to be this brand new, gigantic, game-changing video game. Like, I think something that's been gestating for this long, and to hear about what the possible budgets might be, and I really do feel like whatever we're about to get, we're not going to get a dated feeling shooting system. I think that they look at a lot of those things and they know what their weaknesses have been, and I feel like everything is going to be a double down situation with them for this video game. I do think it'll live up. For me, Red Dead Redemption 2 lived up to the expectations because of this amazing story that I feel like was just so well developed, and I enjoyed this character journey of Arthur Morgan, and that's what I look at of, like, I hope this sort of, when I look at how that story evolves, that's where the expectations were met for me, where I don't want to get to the end of a GTA 6 story or a Red Dead Redemption 2 story and go like, that was kind of lame. Like, that story hit so hard, and it also had all sorts of random things that you still see on TikTok nowadays where people are, talking to an NPC and following them back home and seeing all the little tiny details. I think Rockstar is known for that stuff. I just really hope that they improve on the combat, like we were mentioning earlier. I also kind of compare it to Cyberpunk in a way. When Cyberpunk is in that sort of hype period, and we're doing all these reactions to the Night City wires and all this stuff, and we're super stoked about what it could be. At the end of the day, I also have to realize, like, it is still a video game, and the scenes will still show there. And with something like Cyberpunk, after hopping in, I immediately kind of realized, I can't just exist in this world, and this isn't just an endless sort of free roaming multiplayer or not, free roaming open world simulator. This is still a video game with a structure, and that immediately kind of made me go, okay, I will sort of change my brain wiring to know what to expect.
I think that you're right on the money there, Andy. I feel like the only real comparison for GTA 6 in terms of hype and expectations is Cyberpunk, and being able to look at how that ended up not living up to the hype at launch and then getting better over time. I think it's still a very different situation because of the money that Rockstar has and because of how Rockstar is able to make games, and compared to CD Projekt Red that had such an amazing pedigree and does have a bankroll, but we're talking about the biggest bankroll in video games with Grand Theft Auto, and they're clearly putting the money into it, and they care about being the actual best when it comes to how open it is, how the graphical fidelity, like how much is going on in the world, the horse testicles and all that stuff.
Love them horse testicles.
But taking the testicles and applying that to GTA logic, I do think it is the amount of things happening in the city and the amount of moments that are just happening, of the sideshows with the cars going, of like, is that going to feel incredibly scripted and like overdone, or is that going to feel as organic as it ever has in a video game? And it's still a video game, to your point. Like, it's not like this thing is going to be a life simulator for good reason. Right. But I do think that like Rockstar can push the GTA formula in terms of the wow moments as you're just playing, of just these like emergent story beats, gameplay beats as from a player. Like, that's how I think it's going to live up to expectations, and I do think it's going to.
Real quick, the first time that in GTA 4, I believe, that I'm walking down an alley and a random NPC walks up to me and goes, dude, my fucking friend, he's dying, I need help. And that to me was like so shocking and surprising as the player to go, oh my God, this feels so random and out of nowhere. I'm not doing a mission. This is just some random happenstance thing. And you go follow them and they're like, give us all your fucking money. And they're holding you up. Those are the moments like I want that times a million in this game. Will I get that? Honestly, part of me feels like I'll get more than I am not expecting because of this budget and the time that they are putting into it.
And just looking at that trailer, like, obviously, is it going to look exactly like that? Absolutely not. But I do think it's going to be closer than not. Like, even where we're at now at the end of 2024, like, I think that that's such an excellent tone piece for it being such a Grand Theft Auto game. And I feel like that sold me as if I wasn't already. I'm like, cool, this is a GTA game. You're going to get all the things you care about from GTA in terms of the parody and the culture and all that stuff. But I also think that in terms of living up to the hype, no way is this going to be everyone's favorite Grand Theft Auto. I mean, who the hell knows? Maybe it is. But I think that's if those are your expectations, then yeah, it's not going to live up to the hype. But I do think that this is clearly going to be a game that gets, I mean, I think more people are going to play GTA 6 than any GTA in history. And that's alone, I think, bringing in people that maybe haven't played GTA 5 at all, or maybe just picked it up 10 years ago and played a little bit. But them jumping in now, this might be their game that to them is their first open world game, the biggest open world game. Or like, they haven't played some of the games of this generation. There will be millions of people, I think, that fall into that category.
Of course.
And then to them, does it live up to the expectations of like what a modern video game can be? And then for people that have been playing games, in what ways does it redefine it? Because I do think that is a core testament to Rockstar's vision for these games, whether it's Red Dead 2 with its realism and role-playing, being a cowboy and all that, or Grand Theft Auto, when specifically you look at 5 and like, what did 5 add that 4 didn't and the previous ones didn't? And I do think it is the GTA Online component. 4 might have had online, whatever, but the way that 5 did online, that is going to be iterated on for 6 in a way that I think can be truly transformative if they just upgrade those systems and have a fun enough story that gets people compelled to want to play through, because the performances look great and it looks great. I think the stories, Doug Hauser being gone, some of the writing stuff, we'll have to wait and see. Dan, there's a lot of questions, but I'm still very hopeful.
I hope it saves the industry only in that people will...
no pressure. I hope it saves the industry.
Hope it saves the industry. I hope it teaches, because by the time it comes out, these youngins will be a little bit older, and they'll know, how much money is actually worth, Greg. There's a lot of kids out there who have only played free-to-play games their whole lives, and I hope that this game... Like, I'm half jokingly saying this, but I really hope that this game can kind of re-ingratiate, is that a term I'm looking for? To sort of show people like, hey, video games cost money. And like, there are $70 and $60 products out there that aren't just, we know you've been playing, hey, 40-year-old mother who has a son who's 12 or whatever. We know that he's only played free to play Call of Duty and Minecraft
Fortnite.
and Roblox his whole life. But video games cost money, and hopefully this thing has enough hype that everybody on the planet will want to buy it and go, you know what, video games do cost money. Bless.
See, I hope so. I hope though that we don't have the opposite effect where GTA 6 comes out, everybody spends $70 on it, and then you have a growing audience that is like, oh, this is what $70 looks like. Why am I buying? Why am I buying any of these other games for $70 when this is what Rockstar gave me for $70?
I have 100% words.
You heard
I
what?
have
You
this
heard
everlasting gobstopper of
Yeah.
this story with all these side missions. Then it's also got online somehow tied into it or whatever, and I paid $70 for it. And then any other game comes out and it's not
Aggregated. Blessing said that he wants Grand Theft Auto to be $300. Put it online right now.
One of the questions I was gonna ask is like, how much would you pay for GTA 6? Because like, is it like me with what was it, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, where I was like, oh, I'll pay $1,000, and everybody called me crazy.
That is a good question. Question, Bless, that we're going to answer
Whoa.
right after a word from our sponsors.
Isn't it funny how the people we love the most are often the hardest to shop for? Luckily, there's one gift that everyone on your list is sure to enjoy, an Aura digital picture frame. Aura frames make it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. When you give an Aura frame as a gift, you can personalize it and preload it with a thoughtful message and photos using the Aura app, making it an ideal present for long-distance loved ones. I have one at my desk, I sent one to my mom, and I'm sending this bad boy to my dad for Christmas. Seriously, uploading photos via the app is so easy and such a nice way to share Ben's childhood with my parents, even though we're in San Francisco and they're in Chicago. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This deal is exclusive to you, our best friends, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for this holiday season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have all of your gift-giving needs covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. With an extensive array of styles and colors, you're bound to find the perfect pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's always such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for you listening right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. So let's talk about price. A couple years back, Bless, you said that you would spend like $1,200 or something insane for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, and I don't think I was insane for saying that.
Hey, I get it.
How much
I
would
did
you-
that for
Here we
Bloodborne
are
60
now.
frames per second.
Let me just ask, would anyone at this table, would you spend just off the top of your head more than the $70 for GTA 6?
Yes.
Yes.
$100,
Yes.
$250.
No, that's where I would stop.
No.
In terms of the numbers, I mean, $99.99, right, is not unheard of in our industry for collector's editions, yada yada yada. So is it? It's the game, and it is online, and or these bonuses for online, or these bundles, or whatever it is. There's always
I would do $199 as my top because that's where you get 48 months or 24 months no interest
Oh, okay.
payments on Amazon, or maybe it's 6 months. Either way.
Klarna?
No, not Klarna. Amazon credit card. Amazon credit card.
So, okay.
Realistically, right? Like it might actually be those prices, right?
Well, so that's where I wanted to lead here. So that's just us saying from our value of what we expect from this game, whatever. In terms of, let's not talk collector's editions. Let's not talk bonus, whatever.
game.
Let's talk base game Grand Theft Auto 6. And let's not bring the tariffs and stuff into that too, because like we won't know how that's going to affect things in terms of actual dollar-to-dollar stuff. That's
We're gonna make China pay
conversation
for it.
for a later time. Where we're at right now, with games costing $70 on PlayStation and Xbox, $60 sometimes elsewhere, unless you're Zelda, which was $70 on Switch. What do we think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost, and what do you think that they could get away with?
I think that they will do suggested retail price. I think this will be a $70 game. I don't think they'll get that nuts with it. I do think that they could easily go to $79.99. I think you could probably get to $89.99 and not have the outcry be too big because you're a Rockstar and you don't give a shit. And you're going to buy it eventually. And if you're not going to buy it right now, there's going to be sales and bundles and everything else where you will buy it eventually. So we're really not worried. It's a take-two argument, obviously, as the corporate bean counters try to figure out what they can get away with. But I do see it being $69.99, and I do see there being additions that do something, you know what I mean, to make a bigger deal about it from Take-Two that'll try to get that money and try to get that nostalgia out of you.
I feel like the base is going to be higher.
You think so?
One. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much more, but again, thinking about Nintendo making tiers $70, which I know is standard on other systems, but I don't think Nintendo sees it that way. I just think that they look at, we can get $70 for this game, so they did. And I think, with Take-Two and with how long this has been gestating, and clearly they wanted it out 2025, right? It's not going to hit that. I do think any lever they can pull to get more money, especially when they know it's going to essentially sell out as soon as it drops. I think that they know they're in a position that they damn well could do it easily, and it would get blowback, but I don't think it would get blowback that would affect them. I think they would make so much more money from it. And in the past, looking at Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto specifically, those games are ever present and drop price and still sell. I'll never forget, 4 years ago, being at Target at Stonestown near Christmas time, and some dude was buying Grand Theft Auto 5 as a present for somebody. And I was like, how is it possible that somebody would want this game that doesn't already have it? You know what I mean? That's Grand Theft Auto. So I think that the conversations are definitely happening, and I think that in my mind that would be the plan.
I don't think in a million years they would charge 90. I think they could get away with 80, but I do think they'll do 70. And I think one of the big reasons is we're not just talking about the premium box sales for GTA 6. We're also talking about online. We're talking about that longevity of being able to sell shark cards and being able to sell bundle in the game with the shark cards, right? I think you need that a good price to start off with, where you can kind of play with that tier of 4 years, 5 years down the road of, okay, we're going to do the $80 version. That's going to come with this much more money for online they're going to be able to spend.
And I'm right there with you. My only thing is I'm not convinced that online is part of the package. And I'm not convinced that online isn't free to play. So I feel like with that, I think it's if you're going to put this thing out, I think they'll definitely interact in some way. But I do think looking at how GTA 5 and GTA Online are the same thing, but are very different at their core. What does from the ground up, with the infrastructure and understanding of what a real online service looks like, with understanding of the monetization of that, I feel like we might not even be able to comprehend what they're going to do, because
this brings me back to Call of Duty, though. Where Call of Duty is still the only first-person shooter competitive game, one of the only ones that is still selling at $60. Of course, now it's on Game Pass and all that, right? But they're able to get away with $70.
Okay.
Sorry, they're able to get away with every single year selling a $70 copy because it's Call of Duty. I feel like for GTA, you kind of have that with online as well, right? I think the connectivity is a strong conversation to have, because you're gonna have it be in the same city. I know there are leaks and stuff that we can get into as far as, they're going to start with Vice City and then they're going to build in other cities. Maybe you'll go to Liberty and all this stuff, right? But I do think that those that big chunk of money that you're going to make off of selling the premium versions and making that the gateway into online, at least at first, is the way to go. I think I do think that going free to play with GTA Online might just be a mistake, right? I think you get that money off of GTA Online.
So my thing is, I see what you're saying about selling the Call of Duty. That's selling Grand Theft Auto 6 just single player. Right? Yeah. I think that I'm saying even $70-$80 MSRP for single player, that's going to be the highest selling game. But they already have that.
Do you think people are showing up to GTA 6 more at this point for single player or online?
I think it doesn't matter, because I think the people are showing up for single player.
I think it's single player.
The answer is online in terms of how they're going to make money and all that stuff, and modern gaming and stuff. But
I think
GTA 6 is a single player game that they are selling. That's going to be the high selling thing. Then they're going to make the most money over time from online. I see them putting out online free to play, or it could even be a $20 thing. They could still, or a $50 thing. Fuck it. They in the same way you're saying they're in that zone, they can do whatever. Warzone's free, right? Mm-hmm. Call of Duty does have its multiple different ways to maximize them making money, and I do think Grand Theft Auto to some extent is going to do that. But I still don't expect online and GTA 6 single player stuff to day one be all available together.
I also wonder what happens to the old Grand Theft Auto Online.
I think it'll still exist. It'll be different enough.
I think they support it for a while and then sunset it way down the line or whatever, depending on what they see back end. I like the conversation. I think it's an interesting conversation. I don't remember. Red Dead 2 did the same thing, right? Where Red Dead 2 dropped and then weeks later, months later, you got into online via Red Dead 2. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to stick with that for GTA 6 and GTA Online. Because again, if you are just the online player, they're going to want you to pay them the $70, if not more, to get in there and do it. And then I think, eventually there's a free-to-play option version to get you through the door. But I think that's down the line. I think right now it's about pumping that number up, being the biggest entertainment launch, being the biggest video game of all time, making that money back as fast as possible, $1 billion in 24 hours, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I see like the staggered launch for single player and online maybe being like a month apart, or maybe like a couple months apart, if that, right? Like I think they had to be connected at their core, because I do think that is like the biggest sales value for that audience. Like I think when we were talking about single player and online for GTA at this point, I think the online importance is equivalent, if not even more important than when you're talking about single player and why people are showing up to the box. I think, being able to bundle those in the same thing, be like, hey, you're buying this for $70, maybe $80 if we can push it, right? Like to play both of these things, I think that's going to sell so many boxes, and then you get the shark cards, and then you get the monetization after that. Maybe a battle pass this time.
I will be surprised. I think that no matter what, GTA Online, if you pay for GTA 6, it'll come with some extent GTA Online. I just think that having seen what happened with GTA 5, seen what happened with Red Dead 2, I know we're in a different spot now, but I just still think strategy-wise, they would want to just let the people play GTA 6, let them play the single player, not necessarily beat it, but play it.
I agree with this, that there's going to be a window between them.
Yeah, some window. Then I do think that window is going to be, very similar to the last two times this happened, right? Where, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like a month later. We got
for GTA 5, it was 2 weeks. And then for Red Dead, I believe it was like a month or so.
2 weeks, a month, but then really it wasn't like another year until it was like, all right, but really now Red Dead Online, GTA Online, of them like treating it like it, or not even just treating GTA 5 being an example of them having something that even functioned. And then Red Dead being more just like, okay, cool, we know what this is. And if I remember correctly, they ended up selling Red Dead Online as a separate thing, so you didn't need to buy the whole Red Dead 2.
I don't recall.
That I don't know. Red Dead
that.
had the big misstep of being 7 months after Red Dead 2 came out.
Oh,
damn, really?
that long?
It was a while until they could get Red Dead Online up. And I think GTA is also now technically its own separate thing.
Yeah, which I was gonna make that point is like I think you also have the option of making GTA 6 online free to play later. Like if you're looking at the numbers, I think that is a lever to pull.
Agreed.
Maybe 5 years into the life cycle of, all right, now's the time, go free to play, get this in as many hands as possible, and like launch the Dr. Dre update and get everybody in.
Yeah,
maybe Pitbull update this time.
I do expect this to launch in the best state any of the onlines have, and maybe that's wishful thinking. But back to your point of just, I feel like this many years later, all the learnings from GTA Online, like we are in a far different spot where people expect. If we show up day one with the thing that got included, like I did with GTA 5, and it's just a fucking trash fire.
I'm with you that they have to get it right.
Man, it was so bad.
So bad.
It was so much fun, and then you get disconnected and you get right back on because it was of how fun it was.
Dude,
and it felt.
GTA
Right back
Online,
on?
Yeah,
As fast as you could.
Dude, GTA Online for me at launch, I remember just sitting there waiting for that loading screen, like trying, like I could be doing homework, I could be working on, I'd failed so many classes, I failed like one class that semester because of GTA 5, but like online was the thing that I had to be there for, and I don't think it launches busted this time around, but I do think that GTA 6 Online might launch a bit bare bones, because to Tim's point, I think you need to get it right, and I think part of getting it right is a slow build. I think year one for GTA 6 Online, I think maybe you launch it a month after a single player, right? And it is a thing of the first 12 months being, hey, you have deathmatch modes, you have an open world roam mode, you have some race modes, and like maybe like a few, like some co-op stuff here and there to build progression, and then like a light battle pass to give you like a carrot on the stick to chase for. You're not getting heists year one. I don't think you're getting you're not getting any like major, hey, this is the core of the game in year one, in my prediction. I think that comes year 2, year 3, year 4, because I think it is just a massive undertaking, and part of that is actually having people in the game so you can see how people play, and you can see like what you can handle as far as, the kind of modes, the kind of things you need to put in there to pull those levers and get that money.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I can't imagine it's as bare bones as either of the first two or that have launched, but I think, you're going to have the big stuff, your raid content down the line. I'm hoping for a more engaging narrative, right? We're making our character, we're jumping in, what are we doing, why are we in this
the
world?
online side?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This narrative better fucking be engaging as shit for the single player one.
We got a couple super chats. Betty B. Good saying, I'd love to see more customization, including character, cars, and homes. I hope there's more better movement on foot, like jumping and getting over stuff. So yeah, like talking about it from more of like the actual gameplay experience. Let's jump away from online to the core product of the single player thing that we're talking about, the trailer here. Like, Andy, is there expectations you have of it feeling incredibly more modern than GTA 5 did, or are you kind of seeing this like, all right?
I feel like part of them, I feel like what the goal has to be is Last of Us Part 2. Your third-person shooter needs to feel like that when it comes to diving under all the contextual animation, all of that stuff. I want that to be the bar. I think anything beneath that, if we are just seeing a prettier, somewhat smoother version of GTA 5, I think that's a massive disappointment because that game never felt great to play.
That weird little jump.
This is what I'm talking about with overhype, though. I don't think there's a world where that can happen.
I just think with the amount of time and money and budget that's gone into it, I feel like they are going to attack this on all fronts.
Think about the time, money, and budget that went behind The Last of Us Part 2, though, and they had all of that, and that was not an open world game, you know?
Yeah, that's my thing.
but you're also talking about that game being so... to me, they are not going for even the levels of visual fidelity. The game, of course, looks amazing, but I think that's a lot of that just being in a newer engine and looking like, I don't think we're seeing the level of animations that we're seeing in Grand Theft Auto that we saw in The Last of Us when it comes to like the extreme nitpicking of millimeters moving on motion capture and all that. I think that's a different sort of. I think Tim nailed it earlier. Rockstar money is different than Naughty Dog money or Sony money. Rockstar money is a different beast. When I talk about getting hired at Kind of Funny, and even in 2019 before the pandemic, or 2018 being like, fuck, the latest monthly sales, GTA is still on there. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. And it's like that kept on happening, and the shark cards kept on happening. I feel like it's a different league for them.
The pushback I'll give is, I think, for GTA 5 and how well that did, like, I forget how many copies it sold, but 100 million, like that game sold so much for what it was. And I think for GTA 6 it has to be a thing of, hey, the formula's not broke.
Over 200 million worldwide as of August 2024.
Jesus Christ, I was trying to be conservative. I think it's a thing of the formula's not broke. Let's not switch it up too much. I think that money goes to looking at things like GTA Online and going, all right, what are the things that were holding this back, just from a like optimization and getting people into matchmaking and UI and customization. Like, I do think the apartment and house stuff is going to be, way more like revamped and like done way better this time around. Like, all those things in online that felt weird and felt kind of like, oh, this feels old now, janky. I think that stuff is getting revamped, but the actual gameplay, like, I think once you get into this feels like Last of Us Part 2, or this feels like an action game, I think you get away from what is GTA, which is you were a ragdoll essentially walking around, getting into cars. Like, you have this level of vulnerability and this level of like,
which I think is awesome,
where you get hit and you do the little tumble over the hood,
and
or
it's kind of frustrating, but that is what makes GTA.
This is me going back to the thing, and I'm with Bless on this, that I would love that, that fidelity of Last of Us. I don't think you get that, because I think even looking at GTA 5, you see the evolution from GTA 3, where it's like, things have gotten better, obviously, and are more realistic, and but it still feels and looks the same. With rose-colored glasses, and let me just go for it. This is where we get into the conversation, I think, of, oh, it's a Bethesda game. We got to stop thinking it's not going to be a Bethesda game. This is a Rockstar game. I think it's going to be a Rockstar game, which means I think it will feel better. It will do whatever, but it's still going to be I have my Uzi and I'm flailing around my arm.
It's going to be the auto lock on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the stuff I've seen people do in Red Dead Redemption 2 is still feels like decades newer of a game than GTA 5 was. Like, the level of detail that there is even in that combat system, I feel feels like so far improved over what happened in GTA 5. Last of Us Part 2 is probably like the pinnacle that I could hit. I'd be still happy with an evolved form of Red Dead Redemption 2 combat. In terms of, I'm not saying that, like, that's an old-timey combat feel because you're using older weapons or whatever, but the amount of things you can do in that game still felt so much more evolved than what we had in GTA 5.
And to me, that's the amount of things you're able to do. That's kind of like the core tenet of GTA, like dating back to the original, but like specifically from 3 onwards, it's just like oh wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. GTA 4, I can't believe I'm calling a taxi. Like just the dumb little things that you can't believe you're doing. And I feel like comparing the gameplay feel of GTA 3 even to San Andreas, the original San Andreas, there was so much refinement, but it was still the same kind of vibes of like the ragdoll feeling, but like specifically controlling a car felt so much different. And like I feel like they refined it into an area of like how it felt in GTA San Andreas. It feels way more similar to that in 5 because they kind of like got that side of it down. Whereas GTA 3 was way more the cars just like, you know what I mean? Like left and right. It felt digital as opposed to analog.
Yeah. I mean, GTA 4 to GTA 5, when you're talking about like car physics, big jump.
Exactly. And I mean, GTA 4's physics system in general of like hitting the car and like it being a bit more realistic, which resulted in funnier ragdoll stuff, right? I think GTA 5 kind of like pulled that back a bit and went a little bit more of a, at that point, modern style of the GTA 3 trilogy feel. But I'm with Andy to the extent that I do think the gunplay and stuff just needs to have that tighter feel that in the same way that I think that the car physics and stuff have improved in car control, I think that the combat does need that boost where I don't think it needs to be Last of Us levels of being able to like throw your rope and look at how the rope moves and all the like that stuff. But I think the gunplay, because GTA 5 focuses on that stuff, and I expect 6 to focus on it a lot as well. I do think that, and it's funny because we're like talking about Naughty Dog as if the gunplay stuff is like
what they're known for.
Yeah, what they're known for. When it's, I feel like it's one of the things most people critique. I personally love it.
I defend it.
Yeah, I love it, and I feel like it does
Sony
fit really
fanboys
well
over here.
in the like the Naughty Dog gunplay style. I think works very well for shooting range, shooting gallery type stuff. And at the end of the day, a lot of the GTA missions, at least in the past, that's what they are.
Yeah,
you know, think about the opening bit of GTA 5. If that played Last of Us 2 to the extent that it needs to, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I want the level of interactivity. If I'm running into a house for some like break-in mission or whatever, I guess I want the evolved form of that Red Dead 2 combat with the addition of knocking down this fucking thing, picking up an apple, throwing it, you know, like that level of like those little small details going, oh shit, they thought of that, you know? And
I heard you're not gonna be able to enter the houses in GTA 6.
Oh shit, fuck. it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think if we get that level of evolution, I will be happy with that. Because man, some of the highlights that people make on TikTok for like Red Dead 2, it looks like holy shit, who's playing this? Like, is this some Sunhee Legend type shit? Like, it is really impressive the amount of stuff that people can do.
Andy, I have to run. It's Ben's first ever parent-teacher conference. However, I'm kind of offended that we've made it this far into the episode and I haven't got a Dutch or an Arthur Morgan impression. So can we please get that on the table before we leave?
That's a good question right there, Greg Miller. Because my name is Dutch.
Are you sure your name isn't George W. Bush?
My name is Dutch Arthur. We're gonna go to Tahiti. Yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me, Greg. Say hi to the old kid for me. Yeah, and I'm John Marston.
Put him in video games, people. What are you waiting for?
It's a good game. That's a stolen impression from Chris Cody. Sorry, Chris Cody from the Levitard Show. It's a good video game. Jennifer Coolidge. Hey.
Oh man, let me ask you, Bless. You, I would say, are the biggest GTA 5 / online player at the office.
Oh yeah.
Would you? What do you not want from GTA 6?
Oh man, what do I not want? Like for online or just in general?
Just in general. Is there anything, when I ask you that, what jumps out to you?
I mean, this is a weird one because this is so in particular, but like, I want there to be a better balance of country and city. Because GTA 5, when I want to go to that top part of the map, it gets kind of annoying where I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to go on a 10-minute drive just to the top of this fucking map where there's no city, where it's just all fucking country road.
Bless, I hope there's a lot of broken down semi-trucks with ramps on them. So I
my God.
So I can at least jump over shit.
Yeah, give me something to do. If you're going to give me those drives, make them interesting. Like, give me a fucking, broken down semi-trucks with the ramps and shit like that.
So
it's going to be weird when we get a lot of NFT references.
Yeah.
With how dead they are now. Like,
that's my other thing is, what does the story look like? What does the references look like? You know, I think it was Greg that brought up the good point of the interview with, I think it was Dane Houser, right? That was like, it sucks trying to make a GTA right now with in Trump's America, because everything feels almost larger than life as far as like trying to parody a thing. How do we parody what's already comedy? We're still in that same place. Like, I wonder what those look like. We saw in the trailer that there is a lot of Instagram Reels, which like TikTok
TikToks
adjacent
and Reels,
stuff.
yeah.
That's still relevant enough, and
Yeah.
I don't think that relevancy is going away anytime soon, even though the government's trying to get rid of it, but that's a different conversation.
With that stuff, though, just real quick, I want to say, because
Uh-huh.
like I feel like in the past, I've been a big proponent of just like, oh man, how are they going to parody? Like, that's so important to GTA. I do think that, to your point, the parody aspect is a little less important. I just feel like Rockstar at this point just needs to put out a really good story that reflects modern times. That's it. I don't think it needs to be like the most satirical parody, whatever. If the world is as wacky as it is right now, just tell a good story, because there's so many good stories to tell there. Have compelling characters, have something to say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it needs to like be the most, oh man, I've never heard any of that before, but at least do something that makes me go like, oh wow, only GTA could have told the story that they did, because they actually had a narrative in mind and like actually had a point, instead of just like, oh man, there's prostitutes at a strip club. It can't be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the things I'm maybe a bit more of a niche side of GTA that I'm very excited to see what they do with is the music. Obviously, the GTA soundtracks are iconic, and in the last decade, especially with GTA 5, it feels like they've been putting in way more of an effort to go deeper into what they can do with music. They've added in radio stations over time. They have artists host radio stations. There was that blonded radio that was like Frank Ocean, like a Frank Ocean type radio station that they added over time. They had Dr. Dre in there. I remember getting an email 4 or 5 years ago about like some Rockstar record label thing going on. They care a lot about music at that company, and I think all this is building towards something in GTA 6 as far as how they're going to implement that, especially with whatever record label thing they got going on.
Yeah.
I want to know what that is. I want to know what that looks like. I'm very excited to see what they can do with that. But as far as probably my biggest thing, as far as what I don't want to see in GTA 6, and this is to the online side of things, I hope, and this is very simple, right? And this goes back to me and Greg were mentioning, UI, jumping into parties, just the player experience of GTA Online needs to be fixed. Like, from the ground up, needs to be fixed. I think the best part of GTA Online is when I'm actually playing it. The worst part of GTA Online is when I'm in a menu and I'm trying to invite people and the auto invites and I'm waiting for it to populate. Oh man, it's starting. Oh man, the thing's okay, cool. Oh man, I want to do a heist. How do I do a heist? And having to like look up guides online.
Rockstar Club.
Yeah,
All
get on
that shit.
Rockstar Club. Okay, you got to do the setup missions. All right, how do I do this? Oh, you got to invite somebody. How do I? It's so convoluted and so fucked up.
Yeah,
how it works.
so with that,
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest fears that I expect from this game is that those things aren't going to be perfectly solved. Like I'm a little concerned that like it's still going to feel a little bit like just not up to snuff for like where I agree with you it needs to be. Do you think that there are systems in games you've played that they should learn from?
Oh man, this might be more of an Andy question, even a Mike question, right? Of like online games that have that level of almost like an MMO style. Hey, everybody's in this lobby together and like we're hanging out, but then we want to hop into a specific mission. So like invite people. I feel like one of the big things is just that it came out in 2013, which was a different time for online games. Maybe Destiny might be the thing to point to as far as how to go about it in a better way.
Obviously, cross progression is really important. Cross platform, cross play, all that cross stuff is going to be extremely vital. And I don't doubt that any of that would launch, with it in the game. I think all that's going to be good to go. Systems wise, man, I'm not sure. Like, are we getting some sort of companion app? I feel like that seems like something Rockstar might do.
They love a companion app.
Yeah, they love a little companion app.
They gave us a companion app to like edit your license plate on your car one time.
That could be kind of cool,
Yeah.
I feel like they could go deeper into that level of bringing it to a real life sort of thing. Because wasn't it like iFruit or whatever the Apple app was? I feel like they, I feel like they might try to do something that, or at least I hope that on day one the game isn't just a complete disaster online and crossplay and matchmaking wise. If whenever this online thing comes out, the thing that I don't want to see from GTA would be I hope a storefront is only on the online portion. I don't want there to be a storefront in the core campaign itself. I think that would really kind of take me out of it in terms of like giving my real money towards the campaign. I don't know if I want to see that.
So what if it works backwards though? Of like you can buy stuff online that then you wear in single player. Would you be okay with that?
I don't know.
Oh man,
It's like a weird backdoor way into the same thing, but I'm with you.
I think no. I think I don't. Yeah, because it is like just a weird backdoor way of making me pay for stuff maybe to play in to wear in single player.
You're gonna get my shark cards online. Like,
Yeah, it's like save that stuff for online.
yeah, that's really the only thing. What about you, Tim? Is there anything that like if it launches day one, you'll be like, oh God, why did they include this feature?
My biggest personal fear, and I think that I am not necessarily, I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but I'm definitely, there is a take against what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't lean more into the RPG stuff than it already has. Like, I feel like the moment GTA started getting into, like, even in San Andreas on PS2, like, having to take care of your health and all that stuff, like, I didn't find fun in that.
Me either.
Oh man, I love that.
I didn't want to go to the
Pat
gym.
CJ, that was my guy.
Yeah, like I like all of that stuff being an unintended consequence.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but there wasn't really a part of me that wanted to see a meter go up if I went to the gym, or a meter go down if I ate too much, from Burger Mart or whatever it's called.
I mean, we kind of got that with Red Dead 2, right?
And that to me is my thing, is like the way people talk about Red Dead 2. It's like, I don't want Grand Theft Auto, the Red Dead 2 edition. Like, that to me, I'm like, oh, that is not the GTA I personally want. And I mean, looking at how Red Dead divided at least some people, and I think that actually Red Dead's a very apt comparison to what I'm saying. Like, clearly there are millions upon millions of people that love what that game did and going deeper into the real role-playing mechanics. But
I got herpes, Dutch. I gotta fix my herpes.
I didn't finish Red Dead 2. Was that a thing?
I don't know.
I was like, did he have herpes in that game? I didn't get to chapter 5.
Yeah. Slept with a lady of the night, Dutch. Yeah, when it comes to those little, I want those systems to be present. I want to see my hair grow after a while and have to go get a haircut. Like, I think that stuff is cool as a detail on somebody who is more amazed by like the game development side and like the human touch. These human hands made these details in this video game, and that shit is really kind of awe-inspiring to me. But I don't know if I want it to be gamified. I kind of just hope it happens,
Am I allowed to spoil something in Red Dead 2? That chat just spoiled for me.
Well, I was gonna say herpes. I was good. I only said herpes because I was gonna say.
You didn't want to say the actual.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been 6 years.
No, I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
can't do
It's just that I was expecting for that to be the way that he went.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this game.
Chlamydia, Dutch.
Wow.
It's a good, that was a good story, and then it kept going for another fucking 10 hours, and even if you keep your horse alive the entire game, they still fucking kill it.
I was thinking about what Tim was asking as far as like things from other games that they could learn for GTA Online that would help fix things or that would fit well. And this isn't me saying that I want it, but this is me saying that for sure they are talking about it. I want to know what that GTA Online Battle Pass looks like, because for sure at Rockstar they're we got to figure out what that Battle Pass is. What's it gonna be called? The rocker pass, the
Shark Pass.
the shark.
And they should. I mean, in my
If it's
opinion,
good.
that's the thing, is like I feel, and this is where the expectations start getting a little bit out of control. But fuck that, we should hold them accountable to these expectations. Their battle pass should be good.
Yeah,
they should be the most valuable fucking game company in the world that has all this money should have the answers. They should be able to put out content that is worthwhile, that is worth ever-present people, like a subscription service. That's what games are these days.
I mean, they've tested the waters, right? They had like GTA Online Plus that came out a couple years ago. That wasn't like a battle pass, but it was more so of like here's a way to get more money.
Are they gonna parody monetization in video games while monetizing the fuck out of their video games?
See, that's oh my God, they'd have to, there's a thin line there between that being cool or not. But I just feel like there's something that Rockstar is capable. If when we all were playing GTA 3 trilogy, we all were imagining, can you imagine if this was multiplayer? Can you imagine if we were just like if this was like an MMO and we're out there? We're now in that world, and it's just like crazy where it's like they have been able to deliver. The fact that GTA Online exists at all blows my mind. That it works the way that it does at this point, and that you can just hop in with your friends and play multiplayer Grand Theft fucking Auto? Holy shit.
And that shit bangs. I love GTA Online, man.
And all the fun modes, the racing, all the creativity that they have, like all of that, I feel like they are better positioned than literally anyone else to have the answers to come up with worthwhile content that is worth the money they're asking for. But it's on them to do that, or else they're going to just take advantage of everybody, and that's the easy way out.
Mike, are you back there? Is that Mike? I can't tell who that is. Oh, it's cool, Greg. Mike, if you're listening, put GTA Online on the books for a stream at some point, because I want to play some GTA Online. I think the question then becomes, do you need a battle pass for a GTA Online? Like, does every multiplayer game or live service style game need a battle pass? Is it able to exist without a battle pass? Because I think it can, because GTA Online has already done it. And I think trying to figure out what that looks like for GTA 6 is a challenge, because I think to make a GTA 6 online mode that is successful, it needs to be something that people play in all different ways, right? You can't have one path to success. It can't be hey, you played 10 death matches, so here's a fucking skin. You played 20 co-op missions, so here's another skin. I think you have to be able to cater this game in a way where people can choose their play style and exist in this world the way they want to. If I want to go in and just do street races, I should be able to do that and feel like I'm getting the experience for me. If I want to go in and be able to do the heists and, build up the best condo with my friends and make as much money as possible, like, I should be able to do that, right? And like, I wonder if there's a way to cater a battle pass to like feel like people are getting the most out of their battle pass while also getting the most out of their individual experience with GTA Online.
I mean, to that, this is just throwing an option out there, but there could be like different seasons that do focus on different things, and it's like you don't create a system that you don't need to do every single one, but entice people to want to, because they want you to play all the different modes. They want you to treat every single thing as if it is worthwhile, and that's on them to do that themselves so that there is quality game there. Like, GTA has so many different styles of play that when you're playing through the game, you do shooting, you do drive, you do a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And if they can all be equally fun, that the majority of people out there aren't just, I only want to do street races, that means they made a good game. You get what I'm saying? But like again, there's a lot there for them to pull off.
My other thing too, and I don't want to invoke the F word, but I have to for this, Fortnite. I think there probably is a lot you can learn from how Fortnite has all these different modes that you can do. They have the creative stuff, right? And like GTA, like that is, GTA 5 had creative before Fortnite even existed, right? When Fortnite was like a twinkle in Epic's eye, right? Like that is a place where GTA Online, I think, already thrives and probably wants to double down on going into GTA 6. I wonder what that means in terms of even how you approach getting people into stuff. Does it have to be that you hop in online and you're in the actual lobby and then you're hopping into things from there? Or do you start people off on a menu? Do you start them off on that 4-player screen and then go, all right, now do you want to roam around in the world? Do you want to do a race? Do you want to create something? Do you want to hop into Andy Cortez's creation of a minigame? Like, what do you want to do? I wonder, I'm sure there are things that they're looking at as far as how Fortnite tackles it to take into their own thing.
And more importantly, what is their parody of Fortnite in their world?
Oh, they're going to have a battle royale for sure.
No, but like
the people, like, what is the kid?
What is the, yeah, because, we talk, when you think about Michael's son in that game, how he was all into his video games, what's going to be their version of Fortnite in their world?
Not the Lysander in chat already nailed
Fortnite.
it. Fortnite, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
We got a super chat from Del Walker saying, interesting to see GTA 5 and 6 drop with the 12-year gap. How do you think the generational timescale will affect Rockstar legacy going forward? We kind of touched on this before, but I really do think we can't say until we see how 6 does. Like, if 6 lives up to any of the expectations it has, then it's like, yeah, Rockstar, so far they have not missed, even when they've made missteps. Like, GTA 5 Online sucked ass when it launched. That was a misstep, right? Red Dead Redemption 2 launching without the online, we're all like, what are you talking about? But here we are now. I feel like if it's that level of, like, not fuck up, but whatever, and the rest of the game's great, and they do a bunch of the big changes and advancing that we're looking for, then yeah, the generations continue of Rockstar being dominant for, multiple console generations at this point.
Do you think, though, that this is, like, we don't get another GTA after this until PlayStation 7?
I mean, I honestly feel like that, yeah, like coming up with even 7, like, I don't know, it might be even longer, like with the way games are. Because at the same time,
have
like,
grandchildren, man.
I do think that there's a world where this GTA 6 does just become the last GTA because it's just Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's ever
They
present.
add in I mean, again, to the thing of they might add in more cities to the rumors and leaks and stuff. That would be the way where you make this the final GTA. Hey, you want to play in San Andreas? Guess what? GTA 6 has San Andreas. You want to go to Liberty City? Guess what? We have it.
It becomes a launcher, just like Call of Duty.
Just like Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed Infinity.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the fact that we're clearly getting a single player Grand Theft Auto is to some extent like wasn't a guarantee. We now see this trailer, so now we know we're getting it, but GTA 6 could have just been Grand Theft Auto, and it's just an online experience with maybe some like small narrative things, or like the heists are the like single player content to whatever extent you want to look at it, or not single player, but narrative plot content, right? But no, they're committing to this. But I would not be surprised if this is the last GTA of that type.
I think the moment we saw the massive change was their single or their DLC content getting cut. Like that to me marked a massive change for their philosophy towards their franchises and how they're going to make money. And when we saw that one image of, I believe it was it Franklin's voice actor posting on Instagram, getting ready, and you're like, oh shit, more story content, and then it never came out because they were like, actually, online makes a lot of money. Let's just do more of that.
I mean, the fact that they had Dr. Dre for like a story thing,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, this is for sure
That's
going in
online.
online.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a prioritization here that's going on. That GTA like that was one of the things I wanted to bring up for GTA 6 is do we finally see DLC stuff? For 6, not for 5, right? But like, do we get single player DLC for this game?
I think the answer is unequivocally no.
Man,
no chance.
I think no chance at all. I feel like looking at GTA PS2 era, we got 3 separate games back to back. Like there was no room for DLC, and it also didn't exist. But like, boom, boom, boom. And then GTA 4, we got 2 spin-offs or 2 DLC expansion packs, right? Ballad of Gay Tony and
The Lost and Damned.
Damned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we got that, and that made sense. It's like, okay, cool. Then GTA 5, we got online, and they're like, oh, we get heists. We're not doing any of that stuff.
I feel like that the success of online and just game development being tough, right? I think derailed them in a way where they're like, oh, we can't go with the original plan anymore because we gotta all focus in on online. I wonder now that like we're in a place where it is the reset point, GTA 6 is coming out. Like I can't imagine Rockstar putting out GTA 6 right now and being like, all right, next game, like the next time we put out a new GTA thing is gonna be 15, 20 years from now. I would think that they have to be talking about accelerating some kind of development, even if it is like a $40 single player standalone thing.
But that's different. I think. I mean, look, we're Insomniac. We're not getting Spider-Man 2 DLC. Like, I feel like that is a sign of where we're at with this level of DLC content for single player stuff. Like, do we get a Miles Morales? Do we get a Liberty City? Maybe that's too big, but maybe a San Andreas.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I think if you add a new city, I think you got to do new single player stuff in that city. I think that's the way you roll it out. Like, hey, here's another 10-hour
I think that's
campaign.
all online though.
But I think it's both. Like online is where they're gonna make that money and like retain people. But I think for the red carpet, like say 6 years from now, God, that's such a long time. Let's say 4 years from now, just for me. 4 years from now, right? Hey, San Andreas is ready. We're gonna roll it out in GTA 6. What is the way you introduce that to the world? I think some single player campaign, even if it's 6 hours.
But yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, how long was the Dr. Dre stuff?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it ends up being a Dr. Dre type thing.
Yeah,
A couple of hours of story, and it's a new place for you and your friends
Tech
to
and correct me.
run
I would
around.
say like maybe like 5 hours. It's just you're going around and doing kind of repeated missions and stuff. But yeah, it's like I think around that length. So yeah, I think you could do something like that for a single player mode and make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them putting out Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and we're going back to San Andreas. There is some type of single player campaign, but really, it's an excuse to get you to multiplayer, right? But like, yeah, it not being GTA 7, but it being at that point, what, $50, maybe $60 release because they like their money, and also it costs money to make these things. So yeah, interesting. Interesting. Now, last question I have for y'all: when do we next hear about GTA 6?
Man, I don't think I think maybe 2 months before it comes out. That's when we get big trailer, big. So, I think after that you'll get some kind of follow-up little press releases or whatever from Rockstar. But I think the next time we hear about it will be, let's say it releases in I'm thinking we at one point talked about like their fiscal earnings years, or the quarterly stuff, and where that may fall. Let's say it releases in May. I think the first time we hear about it is March of 2025.
Man, it's gonna come out the same day as the Switch 2. I feel it. So I think we got 2 more trailers left for GTA Vice or for GTA 6. I think it is the single player gameplay overview trailer that's, I don't know, 8 minutes long of welcome to Vice City, and they're walking you through a day in the life. And then I think the other trailer is the online trailer. I think you get, I think 6 months before. I think maybe, let's say, if I'm saying it comes out this fall, I'm going to say April, May-ish.
I'm thinking 6 months too, mainly because they want this to be the biggest entertainment launch of all time. You need as much time to pre-order. You need as much time to like get people ready, get people talking about it, like, yo, GTA 6 is actually coming. Here's the date. Fuck, I don't have a PS5. I need to go buy one. Like that type of stuff. I feel like they want to get that brewing. So yeah, I think it's going to be a longer marketing period as opposed to all right, it's time to get it out the door.
And I think it'll be an even longer marketing period than that, because I say we'll hear about it in like March, April time. And at the end of that trailer, it will say fall 2025. And then we get another trailer a few months later, let's say July, August. One more trailer, maybe a little bit shorter, 2026.
Yeah. I mean, you're not, that's I think
I have a
safe
gut
bet.
feeling that this is going to be a repeat of Red Dead 2, because Red Dead 2 went into a similar cycle of like, let's initially announce for this year. Now you don't hear from us for a while, and then we're going to delay, and then I think they went through 2 big delays, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I just feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I mean, very safe bet.
Of a delay.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling hopeful about end of next year. I feel like first half of next year is not going to happen, but I think second half pretty late. Like I think that makes sense, but I also think that I know fiscal quarters and all that stuff. GTA is a different beast where it behooves the more systems in people's houses, they're going to just sell more copies. So if it is later, they're just going to sell more, I think. And I think that they know that they're in a rare position that they can kind of look at it and be like, all right, we're going to take the hit here for our stockholders, whatever. But we know that that's going to result in having an audience that is 10 million more, 20 million more, whatever it is.
The closer you get it to the end of the gen, like you have the ability then for maybe a year later, if like say this came out the last year of the PS5, guess what? PlayStation 6 is going to have GTA 6 remaster on it. Like in that first or second year, they're going to dip as much as they can on this thing.
For sure.
You're going to get that PC release. They're going to find a way to shove it into the Switch.
Oh yeah.
God, I hope. Do you think they can somehow get a way to can they get this on the Switch too?
I mean, again,
can it work?
They could barely get the GTA trilogy on the normal Switch, bless.
They could barely get the GTA trilogy on the PS5. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's a lot of X factors with the Switch 2, AI, all that stuff. I think that, yes, that GTA 6 to some extent will be able to play via cloud, via something. Is it going to be the way we play it? Absolutely not. Not a
absolutely
chance in
not.
five. Does Rockstar want it there? Absolutely. 100%. So,
Man, I hope so.
We'll see.
Just to see what that looks like.
After hearing that it's kind of a bit of an overpowered PS4 Pro, that's what this like new Switch chipset's going to be, with AI upscaling on top of that. I'm going to get shadow of a doubt. I'm going to say like yes.
Wow. Yeah. I can't wait for like Thanksgiving. I'm going to be in Houston with my nephews. I'm going to like take a Switch and be like, hey, give me a second. Secretly download GTA 6, be like, don't tell your mom.
You don't got to upscale it to 4K. You know what I mean? We could upscale that to 10. You run that shit at 360p, upscale it to 1080.
360p.
Blessing, that's a great dream. Hold on to that dream, you know?
Yeah.
The Switch dream?
Yeah.
It
also coming out next fall.
No, I'm like on this. I listen, these guys I think are more technically minded than I am. I would be shocked. I would be like, no way. But I mean, I want it to happen. I hope it happens.
Oh, man. Very interesting times ahead, everybody.
On the flight, blowing shit up. Oh, man.
Let us know in the comments below what you think about GTA 6 launching next year or the year after that, or whatever you think it's going to launch. What are your hopes? What are your predictions? What do you not want to see? Just talk about GTA 6. Let's have a great time 1 year after the first initial actual announcement of this video game. After this, we're about to do a little Warzone Wednesdays with Mike and Nick playing Call of Duty. Until next time, though, I love you all. Goodbye.